Marriage Minute from the Business of Marriage. My name is Dino Watt, and I'm excited to give you this little bit of information today. Today I want to talk to you about six subjects that you should never stop talking about. Matter of fact, they're very, very important to talk about before you get married, and a lot of people sometimes stop truly talking about it throughout their relationship. So I'm going to give you six of them that you really need to make sure you talk about on a consistent basis with each other. The first one, very important, is money. Now, I know you might think, oh no, I'm not going to talk about money with my spouse. It always starts a fight. Well, that means you need to get to a business and marriage event because we're going to teach you about how to understand your money personalities and how to work with each other on that. So very important to understand that you need to continue to talk about money because ignorance is not bliss. Matter of fact, ignorance is where most of the arguments start and turn into fights and the dilemmas. You know, money is the number one reason why people divorce in this country. Money. Which is always interesting to me because I've never found that if my wife and I argue about money, that all of a sudden there's more money in my bank account the next day. That's odd. Also, divorce tends to take away more money than it adds. So, just so you know, money is the number one thing you should talk about. Number two is family, in meaning your in-laws, like the extended family, not your kids yet, that's one of them, but the family and the in-laws and friends. How you're going to deal with them. How do you deal with them? How should you deal with them? Who's a mama's boy? Who's a daddy's girl? You know, making sure that you understand that you two are the biggest priority in your relationship. So understanding that you need to talk about in-laws and how you're going to deal with them beforehand. Where are you going to spend your holiday season? We just finished up with Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving. Do you have a schedule set for who's going to spend it where? Or are you going to spend it with them at all? You know, my wife and I have a great time just being home on Christmas Day by ourselves. We don't do any traveling. We just spend it with our kids and ourselves and just have a good time that way. That's what we chose to do from the very beginning of our marriage, but we talked about it ahead of time. Make sure you talk about it, and things can change. There can be certain reasons why you might want to or might not want to spend your holiday season or whatever time with your relatives and friends. Also, you need to make sure that you're picking and choosing your friends correctly and making sure that the friends that you had before college or before you got married are still the friends you might want to keep after marriage. And those can shift and change. And how are you going to react to both of them? How are you going to respond? How are you going to interact with them? I should say, not act with them. So number two is in-laws. Number three is children. Now, before you get married, it is so important to talk about whether you both want to have children or if you're going to have children, how many you're going to have. How many is a good number for both of you that you can both compromise on. Look, if one of you really wants one child and the other one wants 13, then it's probably not a good idea to get married even. You need to make sure that you have a very specific idea of what both of you want in the relationship when it comes to how many children. And of course, that can change a little bit too. You know, my wife and I always planned on having 4 kids, but then all of a sudden we had 3 under 3, and my wife had to have every single one of them a C-section. So we just kind of got to the point of going, you know what? 3's okay for us, and we're going to stop right there. Her body couldn't handle it. We were been bombarded by diapers and wipies, and so we just decided, yeah, okay, 3 is enough. So that changed a little bit, and it's okay to be flexible. But when you're so far off, when one wants no kids, and the other one wants 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kid, 4 kid, even 1 kid could be a big changer-upper in your marriage. The fourth one, is sex. Now, if you haven't got my CD or listened to my Marriage Minute on sex, it's very important to do so. My CD, Let's Talk About Sex, talks a lot about it. And let me put a caveat on there. It's very important to talk about sex throughout your marriage, not just, hey, I'm not getting enough, or I want more, or you want it too much. It's understanding why both of you want that connection and why both of you, for whatever reason, it's important to you. And understand that you need to discuss what it is that's important to you about the sexual contact, whether it be non-sexual contact, whether it be actual intimacy. So sex, very important. Also, here's the caveat is pornography is a big deal nowadays. I'm going to do a Marriage Minute on pornography later on. And it's very important to understand that it's such a deadly thing when it comes to your relationship. That pornography is it's a virus in our society right now. So if you're having issues with pornography, find out, number one, why, because there's a reason you're into pornography, and it's not just because you're not getting enough sex. There's other reasons behind it. and how you can overcome it. Because I've never, ever, 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 ever met anybody who has come to me and said, oh yeah, pornography, it's been great for our marriage. So please make sure that you understand. So number 4 is sex. Number 5 is God or spirituality. Whatever you call it, your higher power, nature, whatever it might be. When both of you are working together in your spiritual lives, together, then you will have a stronger connection with each other, which will help the hard times, help you get through them a lot faster. Help you get through those roadblocks and their barriers that we all come up against a lot easier because you have some sort of faith, something you can both lean upon. Make sure that you are both studying whatever scripture it is that you believe in, whatever nature you believe in. Make sure that that spirituality is a strong pillar. It is a very important pillar because it is what will get you through the hard times. And last but not least is personal growth. Make sure you're both understanding that it's important to grow personally. Matter of fact, a study just came out where they talked about how the happiest marriages are ones where couples are growing on their own. And it sounds counterintuitive that, oh no, we have to do everything together, we have to do this together. It's great to do those things together, but encourage your spouse to get a hobby, to practice their talents, to make sure that they're growing, expanding themselves both intellectually and creatively, so that you both can benefit from it, because that's what happens. It's very interesting that when one person grows in one way, the other person automatically does too, as long as they're supporting the other person in their growth. So those are the 6 subjects that I think every marriage should talk about before and during their relationship. All right, before they get married and during their relationship. So thank you so much for joining me on this Marriage Minute. I hope you're all having a great time, and best of luck to you on your marriage. I look forward to seeing you soon at a Business to Marriage event. Bye-bye.